what I do when I come in here in the mornings at 9 is sort them.
Okay.
So I have to sort out through the sizes and make sure they're all good for market. Some of them might not have legs on it like it's supposed to. Sorry, he should have for the go-to market at least 4 legs, at least 2 on each side. And as you can see, he's only got one.
Yeah.
So he's what we call a body. And we'll clean him and put him in a box and sell him as a frozen crab.
Okay.
Cheaper than what we would, you know. But yeah. Sizes, I guess I would say.
That's a horse.
That's a whale. That's a jumbo. This is a prime. Maybe if I spread them out a little bit, you might be able to see them here. So we've got whale, jumbo, prime, hotel. Find a little one. We're doing real good. Meat. That's your 5 sizes right there. What they'll do is shed out like a ½ inch bigger. So, yep. So.
Now this big weight.
And that's the reason why they shed, is to grow.
That viewer wasn't as big, was it, when it came in here?
Okay. He wasn't as big as he is.
No, I know
They grow about a ½ inch. So he was probably about maybe a little bit bigger than the jumbo to shed to the whale. These 2 crabs here are your platter crabs. This is what you'll see in restaurants.
Yeah.
High dollar platters I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Like New York City platters. These crabs here are your smaller type crab. I'll tell you that your waterman is going to eat this size.
Yeah.
He takes this home to his family to have for dinner.
Because it's crunchy.
Well, because
That's
it's
the
the
best
sweetest one.
It's the best one.
They're smaller they are, the sweeter they are. When you go into a restaurant, if you order, or a seafood market, and you order a salt crab sandwich, you're going to get 2 of these babies, 2 hotels on a sandwich. That's what your sandwich is going to consist of. Your prime is the hardest crab to get rid of. Don't ask me why, but he just is. We have to market him more than we do the rest of them. You have restaurants that want these small ones, and you got restaurants that want these big ones, but they don't want this guy.
We're
allowed 900 pots for
how many kilos do you get out of that?
It's all according to what time of the month it is and the tides, because you know the tides rules everything. So closer to the full moon, a week or so before, you'll start picking up, catching more peelers, and closer it gets to the moon, the more they'll start shedding. After the moon, they like kind of get shedded off until your next full moon.
Now, that's traps you use, right?
Yep. They're called, we call them peeler pots. There's 2 different kinds. There's a peeler pot and a hard crab pot.
Right.
The hard crab pot has a little bit larger mesh than what the peeler pot does.
Now what goes inside the kettle?
We don't bake them.
They just go in there?
They go in there to hide.
Where I heard somebody say one time they put a big Jimmy in there.
Okay. They're baiting. That's different. Now they do bait like across the sound, or they do it here too on this side. They will, on like the second run, all the females start to shed.
Yeah.
We call them silks. They all start shedding, or doublers, what we call doublers. And when they do, you can throw one nice big size Jimmy in that crab pot and throw it overboard, and you get a whole crab pot, just like that.
Yeah.
Whole crab pot full of doublers. They'll all go after that one male.
Now
they end up killing him. Kind of like Black Widow, you know. And what we do is just come in here, we look around, see if we see the salt crabs, and we don't, we'll put the water back on them. We have to have water constantly going on them because they have to have oxygen in the water. See how that water's beating on there? It produces the bubbles which allows the oxygen. This is the buster. He really wants to get away from it. But if you see right here, he's still got his shell on. But if you feel back here, that's soft. That's his soft part. Feel that? Oh yeah, isn't that neat? And what they do like a lobster and like they're related. If you look at them, legs. Well, they look like the spider. They're related to the spider. What they do, they back out and they pitch them back and forth. So these crabs, it's in this basket. You'll see some running around here. When we fish up, if we come across a crab that's too soft, and he has to be really pat soft, like just shed it. we'll put him in the basket and let him stay until the next time that I fish up. Because he won't make it through the handling and the cooler and the shipment. He'll end up dying. So we have to get him to a certain stiffness. You know, hats off, we can't do. We have what's called doublers. That's when they're doubled up. The male will grab the female and go around with her until she sheds. And he doesn't mate it with her until after she gets hard again. We call it 3 or 4 different type of peelers. Soft crabs, you know, come from a peeler. Yeah. And we have 3 or 4 different types based on the stage that they are and how close they're getting to shedding. So you have what we call a buster, which we put in this float. That's the buster float is the first one I go to fish up because those are the crabs that's going to shed first. And then we have what's called pink sign and a white sign and then a maybe so. Has just a little cloud in it, and he could take the chance of becoming a peeler, or he could go back to a hard crab.
That's on the flipper, isn't it?
Yep, that's on the fin, and I'll show you that. Let's see. Grab one of these guys, and the way that we tell them, the guys do it out on the boat. They call what they're called calling through the crabs. And they look in this back fin. You ever seen anybody push a crab up look like that? Just trying to find out what stage of a peeler he's in. And inside this back fin, I'm not talking about the fur on the outside, but on the inside, you'll see that there's a red line in there. Okay, so when you see that red line, the first thing you want to do, when that's red, you want to say, okay, well, he's a rank peeler, so has he become a buster yet? And what they'll do is feel underneath of there, and he actually hasn't yet. So I want to find one that has. But let's see. This shed right here is to this soft crab. Ooh, look at that.
You can actually.
Can you get a picture?
This crab.
This was him.
Yeah.
As a peeler, this was the size he was, and this is the size he became. Wow. And if you look on a crab, he gets everything new, even eyeballs. And when he backs out, he needs everything that he owns. Lungs. Really? Yeah, everything. He gets new lungs. All of his skeletal remains is still in there intact. All new mouth. It's just like being a newborn baby. Get everything new. This is a dying breed. I'll tell you. That I have 3 children and they all know the trade because it's been taught to them. We taught it to them. It's their livelihood, their heritage. But they will not do it. Our oldest son is in the military. And our daughter is a banker. She moved to Jersey. And our youngest son is in NASCAR college. So none of them want anything to do with it. And that's the normal for most families.
Maybe you can see the boats.
I would not tell this young man to try to get a license to go traveling. No way, you'll never make a living. If you're doing it for fun, great. But to make a living and raise your family, it just won't work. Won't work. My husband has to work after he gets in till about 9 or 10 o'clock at night in our other business so that we can provide for ourselves. So this is one business, and then you gotta have another one to take care of.